Good day, parents and children. This lesson is going to be about 3D objects. I'm going to revise our 2D shapes so that we can remember the names of the shapes, and we also need to remember the names of the shapes because we're going to use them when we name 3D objects. So this prior knowledge is very important. Let's look at this table. You will see it says here sides and angles. So if we look at the triangle, it has the same amount of sides and angles. So let's see, the triangle's got 3 sides, is 1, 2, 3, and then it's got 3 angles, 1, 2, 3 angles. And then the square's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, and then also 1, 2, 3, 4 angles. The same with a rectangle, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Remember, with a rectangle, we like to use the words length and breadth because size refer to things that might be the same. Okay, so length is a good way to describe rectangles because there's a long side and there's a shorter side. So the long side is called the length, and then the shorter side is called the breadth, or you can say the width. Right, so then the next one, 5 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a pentagon. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides and 6 angles that are that it has. So that is a hexagon. Remember these names. The first 3 are quite easy because the children know them really well. But then when we get to the 6 and the 7, 8, 9, and 10 sided shapes, then they need to remember these bigger words. Okay? So the vocabulary is very important. Okay, so then we have 7 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 7 angles. Then we call it a heptagon. And then octagon. Remember in English we talk about a creature that lives in the sea with 8 legs, an octopus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs. So remember that when you get to a shape with 8 sides, octo meaning 8. Then nonagon is the one with 9 sides and 9 angles, and then a decagon with 10 sides and 10 angles. Remember the word decade. Okay, deca meaning 10, decade is 10 years. Okay, so it's something that we can remember, and that's counting using Latin numerals. Right, let's move on. 3D objects. I will be sending the pages to you so that the children have this. They don't have this in the DB ebook, so this is additional. Okay, so let's look at solid figures. Solid figures, also called three-dimensional figures. A solid figure has, and there are 3 dimensions: length, width or breadth, and height. And I'm going to show you using my box of matches. Now this box of matches is a 3D object. Okay, we know that because they are this object's got 3 dimensions. So if you look at this, if you look at the object from the top, okay, what shape do you see? You see a rectangle because there's a length and there's a breadth or a width. So there's a length, a long side, and there's a shorter side, the breadth or the width. Okay, so this is already 2 dimensions, 1, 2, because it's a 2D shape. A rectangle is a 2D shape, so it's got 2 dimensions, the length and the breadth. But what is the 3rd dimension? If you turn your match around like this, you will notice that there's a rectangle at the top and there's a rectangle at the bottom, right? So from the bottom rectangle to get to the top rectangle, there you have to go up. So that's the height. So that's your 3rd dimension. So you've got length, breadth, and height. Okay. Then parts of a solid figure include the following. So we need to know these names: faces, edges, and vertices. The face is the surface area of a 3-dimensional figure. So if I look at this cube here, Okay, you'll see they are pointing at the faces. So if I would color in one of the faces, you will see that I've colored in a 2D shape that's part of the 3D object. So this is just one of the faces of this 3D object. Okay, then the vertices are the points of the object. So this is also a vertex. Remember, this is singular, vertex. And then if we have, say, for instance, 3 of them, then we say 3 vertices. Okay, plural. Then the lines here, they are called the edges. So if I look at my matchbox, then the edges are here. This is 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, you need to count those you cannot see. Okay, we're going to look at the number of vertices and faces and edges in the next lesson. Then we will be counting them. But what is important at this point is that you know what we call the 3 different things. So faces are the flat areas, and then you've got the edges, which is the lines. If you look at a picture like this, or you can just feel the edges on the box that you're holding, and then the vertex are the points of the object. Okay. Right, so the new words we need to remember: identical, ends, top and bottom faces of the 3D object. So here we have a cylinder. So you can see this, we have a cylinder has 2 circles, one at the top, one at the bottom. So that, if you look at the cylinder here, you will see that this circle is exactly the same size as that one. So that's where we use the word identical. Okay, and the ends meaning the top and the bottom. So if I use this jar as an example, you will see, if you look from the top, we see a circle. If I turn it around so that we see the bottom, again you see a circle. So this circle, not the inside one, the outside, right? The whole thing is this circle. So this circle is exactly the same size as this one at the top. So the 2 ends are identical. Right, so then face, vertex, edge, you should know by now. And then we look at the word polygon. Polygon is a word for 2D shapes with straight sides. So if I have a circle does not have straight sides, so it's not a polygon. Okay, so it's not a polygon. But all the others that we have here, triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, decagon, or square or rectangle, they are all polygons. Okay, then another new word that we need to remember is this word apex. It says meet at an apex, that point, this highest point of the pyramid. Remember, a pyramid is always also a 3D object. So what is this apex? It's the point or the vertex furthest from the base of an object. So the base of this object is this at the bottom here, that square, that's the base. Okay, so this point here that's furthest away from the base, that's called the apex. Right, then I'd like to refer to the families of 3D objects. So we divide them into 2 groups, and they are the prisms and the pyramids. Okay, so we need to remember what's the difference between the two. Remember the word we just learned about, that vertex that's the furthest away from the base, and you can see the bases of these pyramids. So you will find that prisms do not have an apex, but they have identical ends. So if I would show you the front and bottom, or the front and back ends of this 3D object, this triangular prism, you will see that you have 2 identical triangles, front and back. And then you will have the same with the other prisms. Right, then we get to our net of a 3D object. This is interesting. If you would open this, unfold this cube, right? You will find that you will end up with a flat net like this. We call it a net. Okay, so we can see this is a cube. If I would fold this on the lines again and put it together, then you will have a cube. I'm going to show it to you using an example. Now this is not a cube, but this is a rectangular prism. Okay, you can see this is an immune booster because we need this now in the time that we're living in. But this is a very nice example of a net. Okay, now normally when they do packaging, the suppliers or the manufacturers, then they use flaps. Okay, because they want the object, the 3D object to be, or the box, to keep its shape. But I cut it off because I want you to see the real net. Okay, so if I open up, you will see I'm unfolding my object, and now I have the net in front of me. So what 2D shapes can I identify here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles, and then I have 2 squares on each side. So if I would fold on these lines again, the edges, okay? If I would fold on those lines again, I fold it back again and let it come up. Then I have a 3D object again. So a 3D object is made up of 2D shapes, which is very, very interesting. Okay, almost done. Lastly, homework. Please do DBE page 94 to 95, and then we will continue tomorrow again with the next lesson. Thank you for listening.